not just showing what's out there. So for those that are listening, we can kind of walk you through what's happening. Looks like Team FN America's Mark Hanish is coming up to the line, and
Hanish with one in.
Yeah, Hanish with one in. Mark's got Mark's got plenty of shoot-off experience. Mark was my teammate back in 2011, 2012 when I won the championship, and come down to me and Mark in the finals. And Mark's one of the fastest pistol shooters out here, so he should be able to burn these things down. We just got to see what we got.
All right, and well, we've been experiencing just a couple technical difficulties with our feed tonight, so thank everyone for hanging in there with us. This is the Three Gun Show live from Virginia International Raceway. We are at the Three Gun Nation Pro semifinal, and with me is Tommy Thacker of Timney Triggers and Jeremy Gresham of SAC. Tommy, what are we watching tonight? We've said this a couple times already, but for the folks just tuning in, let's recap what we're looking at on this classifier.
You got it, Dave. First off, thanks for having me, and coming out here to see what we're having tonight is the Pro Series Finals. This is the semifinal runs. We've got 16 competitors shooting a classifier. We're looking at 5 pistol poppers on the left, 5 pistol poppers on the right. We've got 4 clays on the left, 4 clays on the right. We have 3 paper targets for the rifle on the left, 3 paper targets with the rifle on the right. And we've got the start table and the shooting box. It's about 15 feet. So the competitors got to start themselves with the timer, run up, engage these targets in their order. Discretion is up to the shooter, but most of them are going to shoot pistol first, shotgun second, and finish with rifle. And the reason being because you've got a low port to shoot the rifle targets. And then after you engage those rifle targets, you got to dump the rifle and get back to the start table to hit the stop timer. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be a difficult part like tonight because the footing is just terrible. I mean, we're looking at a couple inches of water across the range here, so it's not optimal shooting conditions. This is going to be a little bit of attrition match to make sure that, hey, you just don't make any mistakes.
Yeah, and it does look like it's getting in people's head. You see Mark Hanish just peeling off his raincoat right now. He had a towel over his head while he's getting ready to start, and doesn't ordinarily have that sort of thing. He just pulled out a paper towel out of his pocket. He's cleaning off his glasses so you can actually see. It's nice and wet out here.
Yeah, these are not optimal conditions by any means. The pro-type stages are super fast, and then you add in some rain, you add in some ambient light, goes away, and then you got this artificial light coming in behind you. There's just so many conditions that are not favorable to the shooter. So Mark's up to the line, and he's about to go live now. Blistering array on the left, 5 targets down with 5 rounds. Got a few extra on the right side with the pistol.
Makeup shots on the right. Killing it with the
smoking with the shotgun. Smooth transition to the rifle. He's not afraid to get on the trigger, no doubt about that. Now he's got to get back and hit that stop timer.
Oh man, almost ran over that table. That's the fastest time that we've seen tonight. 22:19.
That was a smooth transition across the board. He had 1 extra makeup with or 2 extra makeups with the pistol, and then going straight into the final array with the rifle, and he got blistering on that trigger. And that's one of the Timney triggers out there running that rifle. So he didn't have any problem getting that trigger done.
Well, Jeremy, we've got a couple of your company's products in the fight tonight as well. Strategic Armory Corporation, of course. Armalite is right under that. And we've got Greg Jordan out here tonight who's going to be looking for a run at that $50,000.
I can tell you he has been training a lot here in the last 3 weeks since the NRA World Shoots. And he's hungry, man. I really hope it's going to be a good night for him and into the following weekend.
Absolutely. There's a lot of fierce competitors out here tonight, and when you put a prize like $50,000 on the line, it's definitely something that people push hard for, and you're going to be seeing a lot of people pushing for that extra little tenth of a second and going for it.
Yeah, Dave, that's one of the things people always ask about is how does that big prize play into your game plan? And really, it shouldn't. It's the biggest deal is to come out and make sure that you shoot the way you normally would shoot. If you get out here and start thinking about the money and you start planning on that, and that prize becomes the goal, you're not going to do well. We've seen plenty of competitors through the years just go down because they're thinking about that payout. And if you come out and just shoot your game and compete against yourself and do the best you can, that's when you're going to come to the top.
Yeah, the shoot your game thing is something that I hear quite often, and it's something that we always try to concentrate on, even when we're out there just shooting a local match or shooting something big like the Three Gun Nation Nationals where we're at right now. So shooting your game, Tommy, elaborate on that. What if someone's listening to this and they're new to 3-gun? What does shooting your game mean?
Shooting your game, Dave, is just basically coming out and doing what you can continually repeat. You get people come and practice, and they'll run a course of fire, and the fastest they can go is about 27, 28 seconds if you've run it repeatedly over and over and over. And then they come to a match and see somebody run it in 22 and expect they're going to do that. Mm-hmm. You're not going to turn the key overnight and become that much faster.
Just because you want it more?
Exactly. Just because you want it more, you basically train to compete at the level that you can. And when you come out here and see somebody do something different, it really is it's a negative effect on you. So you got to stick to your game plan. You got to do what you know you can do well. If you're a better rifle shooter or a better pistol shooter, you might want to shoot that array with that gun instead of switching it up because you saw somebody else do it faster. So that's a part of shooting your game, is you know what you can do, you do it in practice, and that's what you prepare for. When it comes to match time, there's no reason to switch at the last minute.
Awesome, and that's it's definitely something we all struggle with, and it's something that I've been building on myself this year, is just getting out there and concentrating on the game that I can shoot myself and not worrying about what the other guys are doing. Up now, we've got Josh Wakamatsu, Black Raid Ordnance. He's out of Salt Lake City. Josh has put in a lot of practice coming up to this. He's been just basically working on transitions and manipulations, though, because that's exactly what we're looking at here, is transitions from gun to gun and weapons manipulation. It's a very short, very fast stage, but there's a lot going on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Dave, that's one of the things. You got a lot going on because you have left side, right side on every array. You've got a pistol to shotgun transition, shotgun to rifle transition, then you got to get back to that buzzer. So Josh is at the buzzer for the start timer. He's at the table ready to go live now, and here he goes.
Nice smooth draw, a couple makeups on the left side.
Yeah, you start out with a couple makeups, and it kind of gets you behind in your game plan.
Yeah, and Josh is actually the strongest pistol shooter.
Josh is a very accomplished shooter, very fast. He's making good transitions now, but that slow start really plays a part in a speed course like this. He got back
22-32. 22-32, a great
32
time.
was a great recovery. So you look at the beginning where he started out, and he had 2 or 3 extra shots on the first target, 2 or 3 extra shots on the right side. So those shots, he's breaking splits into probably 25 to 30 splits. So that's an extra second and a half that he left on the table. Yep. And a second and a half in this stage, in these conditions, that's huge. So,
yeah, absolutely.
And you look at that time at 22:32. You take a second and a half,
even
2 seconds.
Too.
Man, there's a 19 out here.
Oh, they're throwing up a 1, so he does have one target with 1 hit only.
What I don't know if the listeners at home can hear it, but when he was going, when he got on it, it wasn't, and he was starting to have to do makeup shots. You could hear him slow his cadence down, and then that's when he started to pick it up.
Right.
When he first came out of the gate, it was miss, and then he slowed it back down. Started coming back on.
And that's an important part. That played a huge part in my win back in 2012 in the championship. Is that I got to the plate rack, and I was having a great run coming into the plate rack with the pistol. I got on the pistol, and I shot 4 or 5 rounds, didn't hit anything. So I just kind of had to stop, pause, go back to getting my sights, pressing the trigger, and then I got back in gear, and that took me through the final championship for the win.
How much does time seem to slow down where you can talk to yourself during a run like this, where it's short and fast, but you're trying to fight a clock too?
Well, I tell you, Jeremy, from plenty of experience out there, that 22 seconds probably felt about 40 in his head. So you come off a stage like that, and you're thinking it's an eternity. You kind of just gave up the whole stage when you really didn't. So you kind of go through that mental aspect of I got to speed up because I got to make up time, and that's the biggest mistake because you can't make up time. That time's already gone. So all you can do is smooth it out and gain time by being fast. Smooth, slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Yeah,
that's the key.
You say that to me all the time, Tommy. I'm starting to believe it, man. And it's with the conditions that we're in. We've got guys wearing rain jackets and everything right up until the last minute. It's hard for us to tell who exactly is coming up to the line.
What's also been interesting is you can definitely tell that the buzzer is definitely going to play a big part. I've been watching some of the pro shooters over here off to our right, Keith Garcia and Greg over there practicing turning and backing around on the buzzer.
Yeah, that's a key factor. So,
stop! Grab that. That's $1,500 falling fast.
Well, we have our first swear word on the live stream, and that's Mark Hanish. Mark,
hey, thanks. I didn't have it on yet.
Yeah.
Mark, we just saw a great run from you out there. What was going through your mind as you're trying to stay dry right up until the end, and right before you hit that buzzer?
I really was. Kept my jacket. I had a second jacket over my head. And the only thing you're really fighting is my glasses are fogging up. I had about 30 seconds of time that I can see. And as you're shooting, they just start fogging because it is humid and wet.
So you got to shoot it faster than 30 seconds because that's all the vision you have.
Yep. Grabbed the gun. Handgun worked okay. I was lucky on the left side. I couldn't see anything. I had no idea. I couldn't feel the gun. And the poppers went down. I was like, woohoo, let's go to the other side. And so I shot some bullets off to the right, and they didn't go down as fast.
I've got a cameraman on my way. Tommy, can you see who's up there?
I can't see. Hopefully when we turn around, we'll see who the next competitor is. Mark, any idea from your angle?
I can't see him.
Okay. So for our audience out there listening, we've got a shooter coming up to the line. Started out with a pistol to the right, and he's got about 4 or 5 makeup shots already, so he's got a slow transition. Going to the left side, long stretch reach around the right side of the barricade. Smooth transition to shotgun with a couple extra makeups, not too bad. And then he bobbled his rifle to pick up a little bit, but he got good luck with the right shot. Making him up on the ditch here, and a
25-15.
Yeah, 25-15.
Yeah. Screaming split, and I still can't see who we had.
That looks like Hunter Sykes. Is that right?
Is that Hunter Sykes?
I think it is.
Yep, cross machining tool. That's Hunter Sykes.
All right. So Hunter made a valiant effort to gain some ground after he finished with rifle, getting back to the table, and damn near took out the whole table. Yeah. But that's the conditions.
Yeah, let's see when Mark ran. I thought Mark was going to run through it.
Hey, once you get all this moving, it's hard to stop it. And it doesn't matter what happens after you hit the buzzer. So I would have been totally fine to slip, fall, deck the table, slide under.
Yep, pull all the wires out. Everything's good to go. Yeah,
Didn't you just get engaged?
I did.
Good call there, Mark. Since we got Mark on the air, congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. Ashley's the curator of the Cody Firearms Museum up in Cody, Wyoming, and she had a big shindig up there, the big patrons ball. So we went ahead and did it that day, a little in the afternoon, and then we went and fortunately the museum was kind enough to throw a black tie event with 1,000 of our closest friends for
nice
and everything.
There you go. Good timing. Good play there.
We had former Vice President Dick Cheney. We got to celebrate with him and a few senators.
Man. That's awesome. So
great time.
You got things going along now. Have you picked a date, or we're just we know it's coming down the road?
It's coming down the road. She has got an entire reinstallation of the museum to do. So what she's telling people is, she's got a museum to plan before a wedding. But,
I got you.
Tentatively, we're looking at fall of 2018 or 2019. So
we're somewhere in that direction.
Whatever it takes.
That's the man side. We'll get Ashley on the show next time. We'll talk about the Cody Firearms Museum, and then
next
find out when the real date is.
Oh no!
Well, congratulations, Mark. That's great to hear, man.
Thank you so much.
Why don't you hang around for a couple minutes?
Okay. So, Mark, I ain't got nothing to do. I'm here till Thursday to try the veal.
We have Rob coming up, right? What's the eliminator stage?
Looks like Rob Tate coming up.
What do they have in the second part today?
The eliminator stage, see, this format is really awesome. All 16 of us shoot this. The top 4 are safe. The middle 8 shoot an eliminator. And the top 4 of that move on. The bottom 4 are gone. And the bottom 4 out of this first are gone.
All right, so
right
from the 16 starting tonight in the semifinals, the top 4 automatically advance. The bottom 4 are automatically out.
Yep.
And then the middle 8 go to the eliminator.
The middle 8 go to the eliminator.
And 4 of those will continue.
Yes.
Wow.
And my whole plan was to at least make it to the eliminator. I mean, I haven't been shooting this year, so I wasn't counting on everything coming together to be in those top 4. But as long as I could be in the top 12.
All right, there you go. So
and I think I'm safely in that right now.
I think you're good, man. It's
I think I'm still leading.
Right now, I think that you got a good time down there. From what I saw with a couple of makeups here and there, total time moving, 22, low 22s. I think there's probably a second and a half to 2 seconds out there on the table that if somebody hooks it up clean,
might be there could be a 19 in there.
Yeah, 19
high. 20.
Yeah. Well, good deal.
You're gonna see that from Jordan or Horner.
You think Jordan or Horner's going to pull it out? I mean, it's a sloppy mess up there, right now, and the rain continues to come down, and you guys are tromping around in it. So I think that the footing's going to be an issue at some point. But the lucky part is that you only have about a 15-foot sprint back there, so it's
it's not too bad.
You get 2 steps and fall down, you can still reach the stop plate, huh?
Yeah. Mark, how's the lighting up there?
It's awkward. Between the and I don't know how to explain it other than that. Between
It's hard. Is it hard to see your fiber on your pistol? And your
I
shotgun?
didn't see it one bit.
Okay.
Well, that's not different than any other time, but I think there was so much light. I wish it was darker. I mean, there was so much light coming in from so many different angles, and you're swinging 180 degrees on this with your guns. So you've got glare coming off the left side of the gun, the right side of the gun, and it's...
All right, guys, it looks like we got Rob Tate up at the table. He's getting ready to smash a start timer, and he is going live now. Or maybe not.
Or maybe not. Well,
here we go.
Oh, here we go.
2 extra shots on the right.
Clean on the left. That's a good makeup over there. Shotgun
Fast
move.
shotgun move.
That was a great transition.
He's on that Bushmaster nice and fast.
Here we go.
Get back.
Oh, man.
22-43.
43. Mark is giving the big fist pump that he's still on the top there. So it's I think it's gonna be splitting hairs, Mark. That he looked like he had maybe 3 extra pistol shots in the beginning with a slower cadence. So
he had a very deliberate cadence on that. He was good on his pistol. There weren't that many misses, but it was he paid the time penalty to make sure that it was very smooth.
That's the part. That's one of the things we'll talk about in the heat of the moment. Do you pump the brakes a little bit and be a little cautious, or you just let it all fly?
Lies, communism, propaganda.
Yeah, I know.
I want to go fast.
No, from shooting.
Looks like he's got a 1 on there too.
Maybe have a penalty on
He's
on
got
the
one
paper
too.
targets.
Or did he have 3 on 1 target?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. No, I see him taping a miss out there, so he might have had a miss penalty. So that'll jack him up a second and a half or 2 seconds. I can't remember what the penalty are here. But
Well, while we're resetting here, I want to mention again, we're 3-gun show at 3-Gun Nation Nationals. VIR, we are watching the pro semifinal and streaming live on YouTube. And we've actually got a lot of people in the chat here. And looks like JB Creech is giving Charles Soule a little bit of a hard time, calling him the Rain Man again. And
It's a consistent theme we hear.
consistent theme, yeah. It rains a lot of his matches. 34S0331 or 311, whatever it is, the robot, I'm assuming, is mentioning he's seeing only a placard and that we're hearing audio. And that's right, we're a podcast, so we don't have any video right now. But 3-Gun Nation is streaming it live, so you can set yourself up with 2 different windows and watch it from there.
as it looks like Rick Birdsall is up to the table, preloading a shotgun right now. Rick's got some experience in this format. He's been doing this for a couple years with us, but he hasn't been shooting a ton over the past few months.
One of 2 shooters from Cobalt.
Shooters. Yeah.
I was talking to Rick earlier, and he said he hasn't really been concentrating on much because he has a new house in his life that he's been spending a lot of time on and maybe not getting all the time to practice. But he did about 1,000 rounds to prepare for it tonight, and he's just going to be focusing on being smooth.
That's it. I mean, that's it, Mark. I mean, from your side of it, being smooth up there is it's just as important as anything. But it's difficult not to just stomp on the gas when you see those big old targets out in front of you.
Oh yeah, Rick's always smooth. That Detroit boy.
So smooth, so smooth.
You see
He's
him?
silky smooth. That's Rick Silky Smooth Birdsall.
Got a new nickname for Rick.
Well, that's one of the great things about shooting this off at night under the lights. Those targets, they're bigger, they're brighter, they seem closer, and it just makes you want to go.
Absolutely.
It is my absolute favorite time to shoot. I pretty much don't want to shoot at all during the day ever again.
You prefer the night shooting, absolutely.
Really?
Oh yeah, I when we have all these shoot-offs when it's at night, I do really, really well.
Yeah.
And then the last couple of years, they've had the finals in the day, and that's just nonsense.
Not right. So Rick's got a quick start here. He's got 2 extra shots on the left with pistol, making good work on the right-hand side with 1 extra round. Good transition with shotgun between there. Left, right with his rifle, going down under the low port, picking up all 4 targets and trying to get out of dodge as fast as possible.
23-62.
Rick had a little bit of a different strategy right there. Most of the guys have been taking a knee and getting down under that table. Rick just went ahead and...
He went inverted.
Yeah, he went inverted. He's keeping up foreign relations.
Foreign relations,
The bird.
Give everybody the bird.
For our younger listeners, that's Top Gun, of course. But he just bent straight over and watched it inverted. So seemed like he was doing okay. He does have a deliberate pistol cadence that comes from the factory division, I would assume, with 15-round magazines.
Yeah, that's one of the things with Rick shooting the standard match in factory division is that he's got to be constantly thinking that I've only got a limited round count. I've only got 8 in the shotgun. There's so many things that are different. So transitioning between one division and another division, between normal match conditions and the shoot-offs during the night, it's a difficult thing. I've done that in the past, and it's something that just you got to mentally be tuned in that it's time to flip that switch.
Absolutely, and Rick has a lot of experience in this game, so flipping the switch is probably something that he's used to doing, and had a pretty good run there. Still a little bit behind the leader of the evening.
Mark, what's from your side? What's going to be the key to burning this thing down tonight?
2 more people at 23, and I'm a happy man.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, man. Dude, we appreciate the insight. Looks like we might be able to snag Birdsall here if he's,
here we go.
He's
Thanks,
coming by.
He's still amped up, ready to go.
Thanks, Anish.
Hey! You beat me, but it's cool because you're supposed to say.
So we got Rick Birdsall with Team Cobalt going to join us here for a few minutes.
Rick, welcome to the show, man.
Man, this brings back some memories.
Dude, it's so great to see you. It feels like we were just here last year.
I know. Minus the rain.
Minus the rain, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more wet now, but we just saw you do a blazing run. You come up to us pumping your arms and giving the woo. So
But it felt good. I mean, you're out here with all these guys that any of us can really win this thing, and just to come out and actually put down a solid run, it gets you going,
Yeah, sure.
Hell, Tommy's won this thing before. He knows what it feels like.
Absolutely. That's and that's what we're kind of talking about. What's the key to winning this tonight? With the conditions that we're seeing, the light's definitely different than what we're used to seeing. You got rainfall. You got a couple inches of water in the shooting area. It's sloppy, muddy up there. What's the key?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing at these night matches, as Tommy can attest, it's always the lighting. The lighting, I mean, whether it's raining or not, it's always lighting, and it's usually with the pistol. Shotgun, you can kind of point it and be good, especially with clays. And rifle, you're going to get your dot. You're going to get your cheek weld. You're going to be fine. It really usually comes down to your handgun, and that's why you'll see the better times that are going to be put up. When you look at like Keith or Greg or Dan, it'll be the guys that go 1 for 1 at a moderate speed on the poppers.
Right. So that's what we've seen so far tonight. Is that we're looking like there's maybe 2 seconds of time out there for 3 or 4 makeup shots on pistol. Probably shooting about 30 splits out here, and then going back and making that transition back. So I think there's probably a 2 second out there. I think we'll see a high 19, maybe a 20 flat.
And that's what Chad asked me. What I thought was gonna take it. I'm willing to bet that between Dan, Keith, and Greg, we'll probably get mid-20s. I don't know if we're gonna break 20. That's a lot to ask. But I mean, if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be one of those 3.
Right on. It looks like we've got Ravid Perry getting ready to come up. Ravid's a strong pistol shooter. It's a great background with pistols. So let's see if he can get this thing out of the gate. I think that's the key, is coming out of the gate, getting a smooth pistol transition, getting your mindset going into shotgun rifle.
Yeah, and that was the hardest part of it, because you want to always start strong, and coming out with a gun that it's hard to aim with the lights and the rain. It can almost take you out of it mentally before you even get to the other 2 guns.
Now, Rick, before you came over here, we were kind of hypothesizing that maybe the factory division that you usually run, having 15 rounds in your head, kind of makes you shoot a little bit more accurate.
Yeah, come right back to that for 1 second. We got Ravid right in the middle of his run. He's got
solid pistol.
Solid pistol, 3 extra rounds on the right. Clean on the shotgun. Smoking transition with the rifle on that power 180 left to right. The 4 under the table.
He chose to go kneeling. That usually costs you about a second and a half.
Big sprint back.
22.77.
Solid run. So that might be our new leader.
No, I think he's where are we at?
Still a couple guys in front of him. What was Hanish at 22.16? Is that what it 20 was?
2 and change. He was on the short side. So I think
so
it's probably got still Mark.
Rob Tate is at 22.43. Josh Wakamatsu at 22.37.
I think Tate had a 1 miss.
And that's what we can't see from this angle. We can see fingers and pointing, but we're not getting the actual time. So that's a part that we're seeing out there. So Rick, I didn't mean to cut you off. David asked you a question right before Ravid's run there. So
yeah, I mean, one thing about factory is that you're always so limited on your capacity, and you really don't want to do any extra mag changes. I mean, hell, I already go up to the line with 5 mags anyways. So anytime I can cut a mag change out, it's always a benefit. So it does force me to slow down and actually see my sights much more so than if I had a 24-round mag where I could just kind of blast and hope for the best at times. But it is fun putting a big stick in and getting to just pull the trigger.
Yeah. And so I did notice I just wrote Mark's time in the wrong place. It was a 22:19.
22:19.
Yep.
Okay. So right now, 22:19 is top of the leaderboard.
Well, maybe we could bear 20.
That's what I'm thinking. You know, you look at what's out there. A couple extra makeup shots in these conditions. You get a smooth transition. You get a good kick off that front board coming back to that stop timer, and I think that.
I know that.
I think it's like y'all were saying. If you can go 1 for 1 on the pistol, you can turn the boost on a little bit after that.
I know that some of the guys down at Tar Heel just ran this classifier, and they, like Martini and Gabe Dietrich, were running 21:22.
21:22 dry conditions.
Without the button.
Okay, without the stop.
So
wow.
It's
yeah,
just a little bit of anecdotal information.
So that's showing that the level of competition that we have here. That got guys in dry conditions running it with the last shot fired being the stop time in 21:22 seconds, and we're out here in the rainy, nasty conditions at VIR dealing with Hurricane Matthew, and guys are still turning it up.
Yeah, I mean, the way we figured it, it was about a second and a half of a benefit not to have to use the button.
Yeah.
So you went inverted. Were you keeping up foreign relations?
Always.
Giving the working signal?
Yep. So we have Lance Dingler of Team Benelli getting ready to go here, and he actually has a knee pad on, so I'm guessing that his strategy involves taking a knee under that wall to get those last 4 targets.
Well, I know that some of the work that one of my teammates has done, timing it out, when you decide to take a knee, it ends up costing you at least a second and a half.
Oh, really?
No matter what.
Okay. Well, let's see.
Which is why I chose to go the way that I did.
Gotcha.
Because of his advice. Him obviously being Keith Garcia.
Yeah. Let's see how the strategy turns out for Lance. Lance up the table, getting ready. Looks like he's going through the final stages of prep, and Rob is giving the okay to turn it loose. There he goes. That's six rounds before the first target. That's going to be difficult to come back from, and that's got to be going through his mind right now. That I got to speed up.
Hopefully he doesn't push too hard trying to make it back up.
Yeah. Super transitions down there, and he gets up with the 24.75. So, Rick, you give us a heads up that going to the knee might be a second and a half. So we take a second and a half off that time is 23.25. Those 6 shots off the beginning with the pistol before actually making the first impact on the steel target. You figure there's probably 6 at like 30 splits, something like that. So
another second and a half.
Another second and a half. So we're down in the 20s and 21s. So I really think that we're going to see a sub-20 run tonight.
I think, now that you break it down and you look at the caliber we got out here, I think it may be possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's nobody wants to lose, nobody wants to go home, and with the format tonight, the top 4 advance, the bottom 4 go home instantly, and you got the 8 in the middle are going to fight through the eliminator. So, with these conditions, I wouldn't want to shoot any more than I have to tonight. So I think as we get through the rest of the seeding, I think the guys are going to push it. I don't think anybody's going to hold anything back tonight just because of the weather conditions, and we may see a couple sub-20 runs.
Yeah. And it's really going to be interesting on the next stage because they modified what they were planning on doing. There will not be any loading at the beginning.
No loading on the eliminator.
Speed shoot.
So it's just going to be speed. All out.
And it's 7 rounds.
Was it a random draw on this side?
The order is based on your seeding.
Okay.
So I was seeded 9th, and then it's obviously reversed. So the 16th seed shot first.
Gotcha.
So the last 3 would be Greg, Dan, and Keith.
Gotcha.
In that order.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I expect the next stage to be pretty interesting with it being only 7 rounds and being a speed shoot.
Absolutely. Looks like Tim Yackley's coming up the line getting ready.
Yep.
We have a bunch of people that are crowding the shooters and getting in front of us, so sometimes it's kind of hard to see exactly who is shooting and what's going on up there.
Yeah. Well, let's
to get you guys like a skybox.
That's
I was just thinking, can we get that trailer you got over there and pull it over here?
Could do that. It could absolutely do that. Off the top of the Timney trailer.
Yeah.
I was just thinking some tennis balls we could throw to people would be nice.
Yeah. The game with the bow and arrow.
There you go.
You just
Yeah.
All right, Rick. Well, we don't hold you up. We've got you've got. Hopefully, you don't have to shoot another stage. We'll see how that turns out, and then.
If I have to, I'd rather do it on a shotgun.
I hear you, man. And then we'll see how you turn out. Come back and visit us if you guys shoot that next stage. We wish you luck, and we'll see you when the dust settles here.
Great. Yeah, it was great talking to you guys. Hopefully, when I talk to you again later today, it'll be with a positive attitude.
Yeah, buddy.
There you go, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
Good luck.
Thanks,
guys.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Steve.
And Tim's warming up here, and he's making ready on his shotgun. And Tim has a very aggressive reload on the shotgun, and he's doing it there in his make ready sequence, which we always recommend, just to get that one last repetition in before the buzzer starts.
Yeah, I mean this age doesn't require any reloading, but when you get up there to load and make your guns ready, there's no reason you shouldn't load the shotgun the way you do all the time. So you see a lot of people just thumbing shells in. There's no reason to waste that.
Yeah.
Well,
now he's unloading them, so.
I don't know, but I can tell you this: like you were saying earlier, I've been to a lot of the matches this year, and have been fortunate enough to be squatted with Greg and watching and Tommy and Hunter, and Tim is consistent before he shoots every time.
Yeah.
How he approaches every stage, he checks everything the same way into every stage, and it's I believe he was a junior. He's one of the first juniors that went into the junior camps when you and you all started it.
That's the 2A Heritage Camps, junior camp that we teach, and he was a participant this past year, and then we've seen him at MGM junior camps when they had those in the past. So Tim's definitely come a long way in a short amount of time. He's a top contender out there now. I think he's at 18 now, so he's not technically a junior anymore. He's grown up, but he definitely has a skill set to compete at the highest level, and we're seeing that here tonight.
And Tim came into this one with a nice win off of the Rock Castle Pro-Am. So he's flying high, and he's on a streak here, so we'll see if he can keep it up.
Yeah, he's a methodical shooter, and something you talked about, Jeremy, is going through that stage prep. He always does it the same way every time, and that's a lot of competitors will get up there and rush, and there's no reason to. You're on your time there, unless the ROs are telling you to go fast. There's no reason to do that. So take your time, make sure you're prepped, make sure you got a mental aspect, and you know exactly what you're doing, and then you just get up here and grab that buzzer and take off.
Hammer down.
Hammer down.
All right, guys, we're going to have Rob Tate's going to join us here for a second. Rob, thanks for coming over, and flagged it down there. We're going to watch Tim run through this, and then we'll talk a little bit about your run.
Okay.
All right?
Thanks.
So it looks like Tim Yackley's come back up to the line. He's prepping to go. Rob's giving him the last few commands there to get started, and he's going to go in his final prep, and Rob's giving it all clear to go at his will.
He's got the hover hand going over the buzzer.
There he goes. Good start on the left. Looks like a little slow cadence. He's really methodical on the trigger right now. But not many makeups, so that's going to be a advantage.
Did not have one racked into the shotgun.
Did he forget the racket? That's going to cost him some time. Just see how he finishes up. Hopefully he doesn't rush too much. Got that aggravated, aggressive kneeling position. I don't know how he gets into.
27-71.
Yeah, 27-71. It looks like he's going to be going to the eliminator, if not going home early.
Yeah, the shotgun really hurt him on that one.
Yeah.
Not having a round in when he pulls that shotgun up. That's hurt me a bunch of times, and it's definitely a rookie move.
Yeah, it happens. Rob, we got you at 22:43, which is like number 3 on the board right now. Is what we're looking at. How do you feel about your run tonight?
Well, you're not completely accurate.
Uh-oh.
I was 22:43. I had one down on paper with the rifle.
Okay.
So that puts me at 24:93.
24:93.
If I do math correct.
Gotcha. No, we appreciate that because we can't see it from here. Nobody's relaying how the hits are.
No, I understand. There's 4 targets underneath the table, and it's a really uncomfortable position. This is usually a classifier. So this stage, generally, you don't have to get back up and hit the button, so you finish with a rifle.
Gotcha.
So most people go prone.
Yep.
You drop down to your belly, shoot those last 4 targets. But trying to shoot in an awkward position up underneath that table without going prone, I dropped down, shot the first 2 shots, called good hits, and moved on, and everything started getting a little wonky after that, right? So I put 3 on the last 3. And, of course, the first target was down 1. The other targets had 3
targets
hits.
were good?
Yeah, the other targets all 3
So the
had
first
3
one,
hits.
when you're getting into positions where you bobbled a little bit, that happens, man. But what we're seeing out here, we're kind of guesstimating what we're going to see tonight. Looks like some pretty fast runs, and looks like guys come out the gate and get smooth on the pistol and kind of get in the game plan of, hey, this is going from here. It's when you get behind. We saw, I think we had a shooter start out with six rounds before they got the first steel going down, and that's going to mess with you. I mean, you're behind at that point. You just can't make up that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of guys when they made the change. At first we were going to start with the pistol on the table like you do in the classifier, and then they decided with the weather and everything else, 2 wet guns on the table were enough. Let us start out of the holster with the pistol. And a lot of guys are trying to do the aggressive, draw and shooting those poppers as you're moving in. But under the lights, the sight pictures look different. So that's why I chose whenever I drew the pistol. As soon as I got the gun out of the holster and got in position, I just posted up, shot the 5, took a step over on the transition, shot the other 5, moved up, dumped the pistol. There's no sense of trying to get fancy.
Right. I mean, there's not enough shooting on the move here to gain any tactical advantage. So you might as well plant and do a solid shoot.
And we got Jacob Betzworth from Team Benelli up there getting his sight picture. Jacob's actually been shooting open division all year, and he's going to be transitioning back to irons here in the fire, so to speak.
Yeah, that's Jacob's been pretty good with being able to transition between the two. He's a real solid shooter. He's fast. He's a big guy. This is going to be a tough position. It looks like he's going to take a knee under there, but that's going to be a tight squeeze for him to get down underneath that table. Rob, what do you think?
It is. They actually did a little bit of a solid for us. They dropped those 4 paper in the back down to the bottom of the target stand instead of up at the top like they usually are. And I think they kind of did that because none of us were planning to go prone, and to make it fair, if you will, so that the smaller, more nimble, flexible people didn't have a complete advantage. So Jacob's looked at it. Him and I talked about it. He feels that he can get down there. He's looked at it several times. And he's confident that he can do it. I think he'll be able to do it. Jacob's one of those big guys that can move, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
And Jacob's a free and easy attitude, too. He's always happy about everything, so he's going to have a good time out there no matter what happens.
I mean, the guy was running around in a garbage bag over his head with a hole ripped in it for his, for his raincoat here a little bit ago. So I think either way, he's going to be happy tonight.
Yeah. Being that I can't see when they're actually going, I'm looking at the buzzer a lot of times, and we're averaging about 2.5 seconds before they get on the first shot.
All right, that's good to know, Jeremy. That's key information. So it looks like Jacob's hovering right now, and he's off to the races. And looks like he had 4 or 5 shots before he connected with that first popper, and he made good transition. He's making quick splits there, and seems like he's doing really well with the shotgun. Didn't have any makeups there.
Makeup there. Did he?
3 shots on the left target, 2 on the right. Good position. He's going after that buzzer hard. 23. It looks like he did a cartwheel clean over the table. He came at that thing so hard that he basically took the whole thing out. But he stayed on his feet, didn't go down. Finished with a 23.81, and you back that up and think about those 5 or 6 shots he took just to get started before he hit that first steal. Then again, we're looking at that 20.
Yeah,
I think that's where we're going to be.
I think we're going to be either high 19s or 20. I think is going to be the fastest.
That seems to be the number we're looking for tonight. Nobody's broke it yet, but we think it's coming. So, Rob, again, tonight's format, the top 4 are going to move on. The bottom 4 are going home. The middle 8 are going to the eliminator. Yeah. We hope to see you in that eliminator because I don't want to see anybody going home yet.
Well, I didn't want to see myself in the eliminator, but right now it's the best alternative.
Exactly right.
I'm looking forward to the eliminator and see what else we got going on this weekend. They've got a great match set up. I looked at all the stages today for the Nationals as well. Right. It looks like a fun match, and looking forward to the weekend.
Good deal. Well, best of luck out there. Hopefully, have a strong eliminator if that's where you're at, and have a great match this weekend.
All right. Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob. Good to have you, man.
You guys talking?
We got a special guest coming to join us here that we're talking to sit down.
Say something?
What are we talking about, guys?
Mr. Pete Brown of 3 Gun Nation. Pete, welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the 3 Gun Show.
Thank you.
We are live streaming. We're doing a complimentary live stream to your video live stream here.
And
we are doing a commentary on what we're watching here and just having a good time out here.
You mean there's a match going on or something?
There's a beautiful match going on.
Yeah? I couldn't see through all this rain.
So we've been giving everybody a rundown for those that can't see what's happening and kind of talking through the stage runs and what we're seeing and
nice.
Making the best of the conditions.
Yeah. Well, the rain quit for a minute. It's a nice little, it's like a vacation.
Yeah.
It's like we're all on a beach in Hawaii.
Well, Pete, when you spend all year going to all these regionals and setting up all these matches, planning for the 3 Gun Nation Nationals, and then this giant hurricane starts to hover off the coast and threaten your match, what's the feeling like?
It's horrible. It's a terrible feeling. You know, we work all year, really, to get to this match. I mean, this match is a year in the making for a lot of people, myself included. The competitors, our staff, all of our people work so hard to put this thing on.
Yeah.
I've got staff that's been here for 11 days.
Wow.
Charles started setting up 3 weeks ago. He lives near here, so he came on the weekends over the past 2-3 weeks to before he even started the main match build. And you know, a lot of money and resources go into this match, and then you have a weather event that just you know, ruins everything. But before I get too upset about it, I think about the people that are really affected by the hurricane, and I just say, hey, you know what? I'm all things considered, I'm a lucky guy. So
right. Speaking of that, I mean, we got Jeremy here, who lives in Southern Florida, and I think he checked in earlier today and had a few feet of water at the house. So
yeah, a couple inches in the living room today. So
yeah. See, and every time I want to turn around and pout because the match has got basically ruined by this thing, I think about that. So
DIR put you some new roads down, though.
They did. I mean, they did, and we kind of got behind all week because we spent a lot of time and resources mitigating what was the impending water.
A lot of preparation.
Yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of time trying to accommodate for the storm that was on the way.
Right.
And so we kind of got behind because we were like, you know, trying to make roads, trying to put out millings, trying to make sure everything was safe, trying to cutting plywood so we're not picking up knockovers out of 4 feet of mud, and you know, and just all that stuff. And
well, Pete, let's hold that thought. We got Joe Pitha up to the line, who come out lightning fast on the 5 targets on the left with no misses. Went clean on the right side. This is the cleanest run we've seen so far. Looks like he's going clean with a shot, 4 left, 4 right. He's ditching everything. Smooth transition. A quick transition left to right, and he actually went to a kneeling position to shoot that last target and got hung up a little bit. So he got his last 4, got back to the stop table.
23 something. 23-21.
23-21. So it looked like he had a pretty good idea of what to do in the transition from right to left. He actually went to that lower position to shoot that left target, trying to gain some tactical advantage, but he got hung up on his belt or something, didn't get in the right position.
It looked like he might have whacked the table leg or something like that and had to back the rifle out. But yeah, so looks like a dump bucket sitting right there. So maybe he didn't account for that dump bucket.
Right.
But yeah, it is something we haven't seen yet, taking that knee first in that position. But it doesn't look like it helped him out, and he might have actually hurt him on that one.
Yeah, so I mean that's the part of this is that there's not a lot of places you can game or make up time. This is a real straightforward stage.
Yeah.
It's got to be smooth, and you know, seeing me come out and start on the pistol as smooth as he did, I thought that was going to be one of the fast runs. So,
yeah. Well, Joe Pitha, you know, last year we were thinking, you know, Joe Pitha, who's Joe? And this year, man, just came out right out of the gate and smoked those targets.
Absolutely. So
Joe's definitely been working really hard for this.
Absolutely. So I think we've been watching the times here and just seeing some of the makeup shots and just estimating what we think is going to happen tonight. And you know, Keith's coming up to the table here. He's one of those guys who could probably put down a smoke and run. We're expecting somebody to break the 20 mark is what we've anticipated.
Yeah, that's what we're waiting on too. That's the talk around the campfire is, can somebody get under a 20 mark? And you know, there's a kid from Virginia that shoots for the Army Marksmanship Unit that we're all waiting to see what he does.
That little guy, I don't know how tall that table is. Does he actually have to squat underneath of it, or can he just shoot it straight up? So that's one of the things we're kind of curious about. But
well, here, let me turn it over to Big Diesel here. He did such a wonderful job last year on the live stream play-by-play. I have to relinquish my spot.
All right, Pete, we'll let you get back to work. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks. I kind of crashed a party. I didn't even ask to be on there. I just grabbed the microphone and started talking. So thanks.
We're happy to have you, Pete. Thanks for putting on this great match.
Thanks for all you do, man. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for the wonderful show, Dave, and thank you guys.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh. Hey, guys. Jacob, welcome back, man. How's it going? It's going great. Woo. Tell us about your run, dude.
You know what? I just went up and had a little fun. Took me a couple shots to get my iron sights. My focus in right on my iron sights. So
once that happened, it went pretty well. I mean, I'm a big dude. Getting up and down like that is, it's never going to be as fast as these little 150-pound guys.
Yeah, I mean, looks like it. If you didn't take a little half step, you might have taken out the entire table there. I mean,
well, I was going to try to double hand hit the buzzer and then throw my legs out and jump over the whole.
Do a little parkour, huh?
Yeah, like a kind of like I guess you
pommel horse.
Well, yeah, like play a little leapfrog, Oh, okay. Yeah. So, but you never want to be the last guy to go short in the leapfrog. So I didn't want to catch a toe or something, and Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it's a super short stage.
Our window is closing.
So what do you think?
Our window is closing.
Yeah. We'll get them open back up here. We'll be able to.
We'll get Brian to go and take care of that for us. We've got Keith Garcia up here, so the crowd is crowding.
Tell Pete, even though he runs this whole thing, he's got to move.
Oh, is that Pete?
Yeah, Pete's on the right. We'll let Pete move. Looks like we're good there. So, Jacob, something we just saw, we got Keith was going up there, and he looked like he was doing that little bend over under the table to get those 4 targets. What do you think about that? You look like you took a knee.
Yeah, I looked at it, and I just, I don't know. It just didn't feel 100%. I knew if I just went down to a knee, which is only another 4 inches of drop, I could just tilt my gun just slightly and be able to see all those targets the way I wanted to. So, I mean, it's not terrible. It was obvious very quickly that you just can't go prone here.
Right. We had some insight from Rick earlier. He said that they were estimating it was like an extra second and a half if you're going down to a kneeling position. Buried well,
I saw Rick shoot that. They'll bend over, and he was kind of in an awkward position.
Right.
And I think he put it all right back onto his time again.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. I mean, it's 6 and 1/2 dozen the other. I'd rather take a knee and know my hits are there.
Yeah. If you think of that position, that's not a normal position for you.
Right.
It's not a normal position. So if you don't practice that, this is not the time you want to do it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to bust out something here at the biggest stage of the match.
Right. Just do what you're used to doing. Right.
Right. And I just don't think you'll see very many people do it.
Right. So we got Keith up to the line. Keith Garcia just got the okay to go live from Rob. Looks like he's turning left to right with the pistol, jumping right in the box. Didn't move up much.
Really fast on the pistol.
Blitzkrieg's not on the left side, but a lot of makeup
trouble on the right. Fast shotgun run. That's how Keith does it. Oh, a little bit of bottle on the transition.
I don't think that's going to be the run he's looking for. Definitely a different approach. And
20-65.
20-65. So with a lot of extra rounds, Keith gets close to that 20 mark.
He's a transition master. I mean,
absolutely.
I know anybody who's listening here has probably watched a ton of his videos online or what have you, but he's always working on transitions, picking up guns, putting them down. And
they're going down range. Keith is actually going down range too, so we're going to see if he's got those targets. But Keith actually shot this kind of reverse order from everyone else. Everyone's been picking up the rifle and going to the target on the right, target on the left, and then going underneath the bench. Keith picked up the rifle. One mic. Okay, so that's going to add 2.5 seconds to his run. So that's going to be...
So that transition...
So once again, the bending over there up front and not getting in that good of a spot is going to...
Right, exactly.
It's going to end up equal amount.
Basically. Yeah, so that transition, basically what he did, Dave, is he took that long 180 transition out. So he basically come off the right side, went under the barricade, and then come back up. So his transition was 45 to 90 degrees instead of 180 degrees. The gamble could have paid off, but I think it cost him. I think it's where the miss came, is that instead of getting under there just shooting those 4, he's thinking he's got to get under there, shoot those 4, and then come back and engage another target. So that could have been the disadvantage and why he dropped those points down there.
Well, we have Optimus Prime coming up to the line here.
So Jeremy's reference of Optimus Prime is Greg Jordan, who's the Machine. A little bit of Transformer knowledge there. So,
do you guys think he's that good?
I've heard of him. I watched this YouTube video one time, and I think it was the time that he beat me in the shoot-off, and then the other time he beat me in the shoot-off. So I think he's okay.
So an interesting story. I shot with him at the first regional in Peacemaker, like 2 years ago maybe or so, when it was there that year. And he was in my squad, and the entire match, he shot 3 makeup shots.
3 makeup shots.
3 makeup shots. I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Like, it's just...
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and you see people, I'm a blaster, that's why I love open. I guess
accuracy by volume.
Yeah, I got some extra rounds. Like, if I get some extra rounds and I know I have like 5 or 6 makeup shots in me, I'm going to come in there blasted. And I might leave a little before him, like, who knows? But when you see that dude go in there and just not miss a shot, it's just amazing. And all the movement that we're doing these days, I mean, it's just...
And he shoots a lot on the move. You very seldom see him in a static position. Right. If he is, it's because you have to be there and you have to take that shot.
Greg, he's always referencing being flat-footed. Just stay, continue moving.
Right. Greg's very methodical in how he's making ready too. So Sets that rifle down, all ginger. Gets his good side picture on his pistol there. And now he's coming back to the table. And Tommy, I'll let you take it over. I can't see.
Yeah, so we've got Greg. Looks like he's coming back to the table. We're trying to clear a lane, so we got a good visual on what we got. And Greg's up. Looks like he's coming to the table.
So Greg's going to move left to right here. He's going to turn.
He's going to turn to the left, kind of like Keith did at the start. Signal he's shooting the right side first. The first one engages right targets. Looks like a pretty clean start there. No makeups on the left side.
Good
transition shotgun.
Browning A5.
Make the Browning A5 bark. He's picked up his light rifle and going to work. He shot the left side, right side.
He does take a knee right there.
Smoking kneeling transition down and then just light and quick getting up and out of position.
21-19.
21-19. So one of the faster times that we've seen. If he's clean, that's going to be the time right now.
That's going to be the time.
It's the second fastest raw time we've seen. So we'll see if it's clean. Then that's going to be the new leader.
That's going to be the new leader, right? So let's take a look at you compare those, Jacob, with what Keith did, what Greg did. Keith had a couple extra makeup shots, and maybe that cut down 180 transition is enough to make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, when you're picking up the gun, you're already trying to get it to your shoulder anyway, so you need to be doing something at that time. And I guess, obviously, that getting into the position for those rifle targets that are a little farther away is what you can be doing while you're getting that rifle up to your, up to your shoulder. So
I mean, looked like Greg come out and he turned the same way as Keith, but he took the targets on the right first with the pistol, which is a shorter transition. So I thought that would maybe give him a little bit of an advantage up front.
Yeah, I mean, there's so little to this. I don't want to say there's little to the stage, but I mean, there's just it's all right in front of your face and so fast that really, if you eliminate a transition, you're still talking about 2-3 of a second, which means something.
It means a lot right here on the stage. It's a short transition.
He's actually looks like he's breathing hard though. Greg Jordan.
He's actually breathing.
Looks like he might be breathing hard.
He is a man.
Nice run, sir.
An interesting tidbit though too is that the last 4 shooters have been under 2 seconds on their first shot.
Right. Yeah. Notice the difference in the start time. So we got one shooter coming to the line here is Dan. Is Dan our top seed coming in right now?
Yeah, that looks like Daniel Horner.
The last shooter for the night in the first stage. So he's making ready right now. Jacob, what do you think we're going to see here on this final run?
Man, he's a fairly young, flexible, smaller stature dude. It's going to help him out here quite a bit. I think you're probably going to see, if not the top run, the top 2 runs of the day.
Did you just call him short?
He's just smaller stature. That's all I said.
Yeah, there were some innuendos in there, but we'll go with that.
He's a beast. he's a beast in a small body.
He absolutely is a beast. That's for sure.
So the goal here right now for Dan is not necessarily to burn it down and get the fastest time.
No,
he just needs to be in that top 4, right?
Yeah, he's at an advantage now. He saw everybody shoot. I guarantee you he's back there running the times. He knows what's going on.
Yeah. So, guys, let's set the stage here. Is that for the last 3 shooters, the rain had kind of fizzled out and we got nothing. And Dan's come up to the stage and make ready, and the rain's coming back down at a steady pace. So
it looks like the rain's coming back. All the umbrellas are coming out again.
That may have a little effect. That's
Jacob, on something like this, or when you're doing your stage prep mentally, are you saying, okay, 20? If I shoot it clean, 23, 24?
No, I don't. Some people do that. Some people say, I think I can shoot this stage and this. I don't really do that. I just look at where the targets are, how I can get to them as quick as possible. The earliest I can get to them, the better. And I just try to shoot within my realm, and the time will work itself out. I mean, I don't ever try to say, I need to be by this position by this time. Now, if I was sitting back watching other people shoot it and I wasn't going to go shoot it, it's kind of a fun thing to do. But for me, I think it just distracts from the actual, focus of what I need to be doing, which is getting on the sights as soon as possible, engaging targets as soon as possible.
Jacob, we've got a question coming in for a viewer that we're going to pick up as soon as Daniel runs.
Sure.
We'll get through Daniel's run, and then we'll come back and take this question from C. Ranzillo. And interesting question for you, and we'll wrap up some commentary there. But Daniel's up to the table. Looks like he's going through his final commands with Rob. Rob's going to give him the go-ahead to get started, and we'll see what he can put down. It looks like he's in the...
Daniel's got the hover hand.
And he's off to the start on the left side.
1.7 on the first shot.
1.7 first shot. 5 clean targets on the left, 5 clean targets on the right. A little bit of hesitation on the shotgun, but finished strong with a quick transition. He also went left, right, but went to a transition like we saw from Joe Pitha. come back out with a 1922.
Holy cow.
So there's that transition we talked about. It was out there. We knew you could break 20 seconds. Daniel come through like he always does and finishes with a 1922.
Yeah, what he did is he took that right target with the rifle, and as he was swinging to the left target, he went kneeling during that time, which is smart.
That was one of the lowest kneels I've ever seen. Like, his butt was almost on the ground.
Yeah, so Daniel has a shooting position, can always get into a low position. Right. And
there's the under 20 pizza coming over here shouting, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" So that's the under 20 that we've been looking for.
We knew that was out there by some of the times we saw earlier, some of the transitions. We knew there would be a sub 20, and Daniel stepped up to the plate and run a 1922. And what we saw was a smooth transition. He come out fast on that first shot, as Jeremy indicated, 1.7 on that first shot. So he beat most of the field by half a second there alone, and then and then go 1 for 1 on the left and right side with the pistol. That's a key because you don't have those 30 splits, 40 split makeups. So
that's exactly right. And then aggressive on the shotgun, burning that last round, dumping it empty. Quick transition to the rifle, and some yoga-like moves that we saw getting down there deep.
If I got down in that position, I'd be there for a month. So what's our question from our?
We've got a question from one of our listeners that says. Go ahead, Dave. What do you got there?
Yeah, so this is C. Lenzillo, and he says, ask Jacob if he regrets shooting open most of the year.
Not at all. Open was a really fun transition for me. We decided about April or so after most of the Benelli team was down at Extreme Bullets match, and we're all battling each other in TAC Ops, and we decided, I'm not saying we're the most talented group out there, but it's at some point we're gonna stop battling against each other too. So we decided to spread some talent across some divisions. I'm kind of known as the shoot fast guy, shoot fast and run slow. So, so I took up the open division, and it's been really a fun transition for me. I was never really a huge gear guy, and you have to be a little bit of a gear guy to shoot open. So I learned to do that. But Loopholds is one of my biggest sponsors, and I've learned real quickly that they pretty much make anything you want if you're going to try to go do this sport. So I put Delta Point Pros on all my guns, put them on my shotgun, my pistol, put them on my rifle. I got a Mark 8 for those big matches. I really like shooting those big open terrain, Fallen Brethren, Rocky Mountain. It kind of goes against my style. I'm a Bay fast guy, but I like those big open terrain matches and stuff. And so that combination just yields speed. And, the Hayes boys down in Texas built me a couple guns, built me an open gun with a slick little Delta Point setup on top of it. Titanium comp, real light slide, and just super fun to shoot. And you can just shoot crazy fast. And I used to think, there's not the open guys don't really have a lot of advantage against us necessarily. We're shooting against them, and our times are pretty similar. But really, if you can get on these stages that have, 12 to 20 shotgun rounds, and you don't have to load. Load your shotgun. That's a pretty big advantage.
That's a big difference. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that dot is super fast.
Absolutely. I'm an open shooter from the old days, and I picked up a match win this year at Rocky Mountain. Going back to it, and the biggest thing I see is the transition going from open to TAC and back and forth. So looks like you come there. So
it's fun to. It's definitely, I think, helped my TAC Ops game too. I'll probably shoot a little bit of it next year again.
All right.
I won't stay away from it totally.
Well, Jacob, looks like we're transitioning into this other stage.
Yeah, I got to go get ready because I got to go get some shotgun.
Good luck here, and we'll see you back when you finish up.
Yeah, I'll stop by. Thanks, guys.
We've actually got a special guest here. Chad Adams of Three Gun Nation is here, and he's going to tell us about all the action coming up.
Yeah, I'm special. All right. You fixing me?
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. Big Diesel's got some more work to do, so I'll step in for a little bit. And I don't know if you guys got the times written down over here, so I thought I'd come over here and share a little bit.
We wanted to hear the final times for sure.
1 sub 20 all night, and of course it was Daniel Horner stepping up there at the end. And if you saw his run, he was surgical. Every foot placement, every lean, it was cleaner than anybody else. It was a pretty remarkable run for such a short stage when you really dissect it.
Yeah, Chad, that's something we noticed. We were watching the first shot, so we can see the billboard, so we see exactly what's happening. But looks like he got the field by at least a half a second on that first shot.
19.22 for Horner. Greg was second. Greg Jordan at 21.19, so about a second ahead there.
Both clean runs.
Yeah, and Greg was really a very similar type run to what Daniel did. And if you'll notice, there were kind of two different stage plans there from what I picked up with. It was Keith Garcia and Daniel Horner, and it was when they went to the knee, they did it in a different order, so where they could transition coming out get that other paper target with the rifle and then dump. And I don't know what it saved really. It was interesting though.
Something I saw is that it cut out that 180-degree transition up top, which is probably the longest transition you got in this little course of fire. But being able to come across there and go down, and Daniel shot underneath the table and come out, so you got like a 45 to a 60-degree transition, but from a kneeling position. So most shooters, I think, would rather shoot it standing up instead of shooting that kneeling position. But Dan gets in that short position just as good as anybody, and he's really comfortable shooting from that position.
All right, in third place was Mark Hanisch, and I wouldn't say it's a surprise, but he might be the scariest competitor in this field for the guys that really think they should win it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because when you step up to the line with Hanisch, you know you're going to get a relentless trigger. Right?
Absolutely. Mark's going to give it all he's got. We know that from years of past. He's been a teammate in the past, and we went to the finals together, and 1 and 2, and that was my take, is that Mark can run this thing down any time. So if he gets on the gas and hooks it up,
you're done. You're done, right?
That's right.
And he's 22.19. He was a second off Greg Jordan's pace. That's a remarkable time for him. He doesn't shoot a lot anymore, really, right? So it's impressive when he comes into this format, which is very well suited for his skill set. We got to recognize that. But he laid it down. All right, in fourth place, Raven Perry, 22.77. Raven's the guy we've always been waiting to have a big moment on the Three Gun Nation Pro Series because he's so fast. His footwork is so exceptional. His pistol skills are absolutely on point. And he's always had a little thing here or there, got hung up on a rifle plate rack, which we could see in the shoot-off, whatever it is for him. But he's really looked good tonight.
Right.
Got that fourth position.
So those top four, they're safe.
They're
done for the night.
In the shoot-off.
They're in the shoot-off.
That's the 1, 2, 3, and 4 seed in the Three Gun Nation shoot-off. So now we're trying to figure out who that next 4 will be.
Gotcha. All right, so where we got number 5?
All right, in the 5th place, Keith Garcia, and it was really close. He had a penalty. He had his raw time was 20.65. That would have been the second fastest time. But he picked up a 2.5-second penalty on a rifle. Underneath the table, he pulled one of those shots. So he ended up getting bumped down to 5th because of that penalty. And that's a dangerous man to have in a shotgun eliminator, Keith Garcia.
I was just thinking the same thing.
We considered doing an unloaded start here. That really would have been in his favor.
Sure.
Oh, absolutely.
But as it stands, he can rip it with the shotgun, and he's in the 5th place.
What was that 5th place time total?
His raw was 20.65, and then he had a 2.5-second penalty. I can't do math. You got to do that. 23.15.
Got it. All right.
After that, Joe Pitha, another tough competitor that in the last 2 years has showed what a remarkable skill set, really. I mean, he comes from that trap and skeet background, not the kind of guy you think. They usually have trouble going fast. He doesn't. And he's really excelled over the Pro Series in the last 2 seasons. After Joe, we got Rick Birdsall, Jacob Bedsworth. Those 2 guys are very similar in their speed, right? They can get up there and rip it. Both of them are really at home with the shotgun, which is what this elimination challenge is. So that ought to be interesting to watch. After Bedsworth, we've got Jason Tilke, Josh Wakamatsu, Rob Tate, and then that last and final slot, Hunter Sykes. And I say he's a dangerous competitor. He didn't have his best run out there, but he is fast. He moves well. He will be a competitor that if he can get through this challenge, in my view, I can't do what they do, but I can analyze it, right? If he can get through this challenge and get in the shoot-off, look out, because he's very athletic, he's quick, and, the rifle's so important, that guy can shoot a rifle.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's a heck of a field. So go over it again. Garcia, Pitha, Birdsall, Bedsworth, Tilke, Wakamatsu, Tate, and Sykes.
So those 8 competitors are going to the eliminator.
That's right.
Fighting for 4 spots.
That's right.
So half of this field's going home after this.
That's right. We've already sent 4 guys home. Lance Stingler, Ty Starling, Tim Yackley, Buddy Knight. Unfortunately for them, they got cut on the first stage. And now those 8 that remain are going to fight for 4 slots. And you got to think, this is going to be close. We've eliminated the load. It's just pick it up, grip it, and rip it. And golly, there's 5 or 6 guys that can just fly with the shotgun.
Absolutely. So grip it, rip it, shotgun. Looks like we've got a start position. Same thing. You got to turn and run up to the start position.
We're using the buttons. That's why I say it's a modified classifier. We took one of our classifiers, tinkered with it a little bit for TV in the Pro Series. They're going to go just like this one. The start button is also the stop button.
Start and stop. So they've got another 15-foot transition to the table and back to the table. So we're going to pick up the shotgun, and we've got 4x10s out there. So 4x10 steel plates. Left to right, we've got
7, I think.
7 targets. That looks like it range out to about 18 yards.
It's a wide cone of fire, so to speak.
Right.
So there's a lot of target-to-target transition.
Right.
Once they get in that spot, they're gonna pick up the gun, and I think, Tommy, you can speak this way better than I ever could. But setup's going to be important on where they land and how they get and how they're going to flex those hips.
Absolutely, Chad. In a stage like this, you want to get up, you get the shotgun, you will shoot your 7 targets, and then you're going to ditch the shotgun as fast as possible. So getting there and grabbing that shotgun and engaging those targets, it's all in the setup. Everybody wants to run up there as fast as they can and snatch the shotgun up, but there is a little bit of setup. If you take 2-3 tenths of a second to take time to get that position in the right spot to shoot from left to right, then you can dump the shotgun and get back to the start table to hit the stop button as fast as possible.
That's one thing I'm going to be looking for. I mean, there's kind of 2 or 3 things you always see in shotgun. It's the old turkey hunter's course. We were talking about it yesterday during a shotgun match. Who's going to be target peeking and looking over their sight and shooting high.
Absolutely.
And in a position like this, and we saw this at the old Pan Am, where some of those target transitions were so wide, and you'd start in a box, and the setup was everything.
Right.
You got a non-traditional start, so you could open your hips the right way to put your gun in the right position.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how many of these guys have experience in that.
Right.
Some of them probably will.
That's it. And this is going to be, this is a turn and burn type stage, so you got to get in there. You can't go in here, and in this format, having 8 guys going in, 4 coming out, you can't go in this one cautious. I mean, you just can't go out willy-nilly and just blast rounds, but this is it. This is your last chance.
You guys are going to be pushing hard.
Absolutely.
Methodical's probably not going to get it done.
Methodical's not going to get this one off.
We're going to be seeing some makeup shots on this one too, and that's where it's going to come down. I think is
you're going to see some misses.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. You're going to see some guys missing.
Absolutely.
And
because they're just going to be
a match saver could be the thing that
could be a real match saver.
Yeah, indeed.
Absolutely. So we've got Keith, Joe, Rick, Jacob, Jason, Josh, Rob, and Hunter getting ready to go at it for the last 4 to make the final 8 for the $50,000 top prize.
And here's your reward. If you're the last guy in, you're going to draw Daniel Horner in this 3-gun nation shoot-off. If you're the next to last guy in, you get Greg Jordan, or you're going to get Mark Hanisch, or you're going to get Raven Perry. And these guys are all so phenomenally fast. There's 3-gun nation champions in this field, and I'm talking to the only other one that exists. Right?
Yeah, this is not
to throw you under the bus.
Hey, Chad, this is not the side of the table I want to be on, but it is what it is, and I'm happy to be a part of this live podcast, and this is what's happening, and bringing the viewers.
Well, it shows how tough it is. It shows how tough it is. Nobody can really get in there every single year. There's only been a couple guys that have been in every single shoot-off.
That's true.
Absolutely.
And Greg Jordan's not even one of them. Right. He wasn't out there the first year. I think with what we've got left standing, it's Daniel Horner and maybe 1 or 2 more, and that's it, right?
Yeah, Keith Garcia wasn't even there last year.
Keith's been out, so Dan's the one. So Dan's been there every time that we've had a championship, and he's just a solid shooter, well-rounded. For most people in the sport, they know who Dan Horner is. But for some people that don't, Daniel's part of the AMU, and he's a well-rounded shooter. He's not just a 3-gunner. He's an accomplished sniper, so he can shoot everything that's out there. He shoots clays with the best of them, so it's not just a 3-gunner. He's a well-rounded
in any regard, you wouldn't want him shooting at you.
Absolutely not. Maybe if I was, a couple miles away shooting howitzers or something.
Well, and he's so competitive. He's one of those Michael Jordan types that he's uber competitive.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, and he said it to me many times. I've interviewed you guys over and over and over again, and he's one of those guys that you see like on the traditional bat and ball sports. You see all those interviews, and you'll hear him say something like, "Oh, I hate to lose way more than I love to win."
Absolutely.
It's all about titles for you guys. That's what everybody really wants.
Yeah,
but it's the burning hatred of losing.
There's no doubt about it. I've known Dan for many years, and he'll tell you straight up is that he hates to lose.
That's right.
More than he loves to win.
So he's going to come out vicious. He's not going to adjust his foot. If he gets it on your neck, he's going to put you away.
And that's let's take a step back. It's not that he hates to lose. He just doesn't want to not win anything. Yeah. So even if he's second or third, that's killing him.
Right.
It's like, I want to be the best at everything I do. And that's a competitive drive that some people just don't understand. It's like, I want to go out, I want to win, I want to do this. But, if I make the top 4 or 5, it's okay. I make the 12, I make the cut.
There's a lot of moral victories out here for the guys that aren't quite on the tier with Daniel and Greg.
That's for sure.
And Greg's a machine, and everybody should have their eyes on Jordan. I mean, that's, okay, wow, way to pick it, Chad. But he's lost to Daniel 2 years in a row.
Right.
And he's lost in heartbreaking fashion. 1 year, 2 years ago, he had a pistol jam on a very competitive run that decided it. Daniel went on to win the championship.
Absolutely.
Last year in the finals itself, they were in the third and deciding bout, and he hesitated on a shotgun dismount.
It was already broken.
Right.
That's right.
So he wasted the time. I mean, he thought he had to. It's tough. It's that fast.
Oh, absolutely.
He couldn't see it. Just had a little pellet in it, right? And that was the difference that I mean, you open the door for Daniel even a little, it's over.
That's it.
Oh, yeah, Daniel's going to take that entrance anytime he can. Anytime anyone shows like any little bit of weakness, he's going to pounce upon
3 years ago, those guys met in the Three Gun Nation shoot-off as well, and Jordan beat Daniel on his way to his first Three Gun Nation championship. So 3 years in a row, their matchup has decided it, you know. I mean, and we expect that again this year. They're going to be on opposite sides of the bracket, 1 seed and 2 seed. So the only place we'll see it's in the finals, and you got to think, you know, there's a good chance.
It's an epic battle. They're already set the stage. I mean, they're 1 and 2 seeds.
Right.
So if they're 1 and 2 seed, they're opposite end of the bracket. So
It'll be on the finals.
They come all the way to the finals, and it could be you know, another Horner Jordan 3. You know, this is the four.
This will be
That's right,
four.
exactly.
Yeah.
So this is it.
So speaking of Greg Jordan,
we got the machine here. We're going to put him on the mic. We're going to mic him
All right,
out.
I'll let you get it back to competitors. I just wanted to come over here and jump in.
Chad, we really
guys doing a
appreciate
great
it.
job.
Thank you so much,
Thanks
man.
for being with
Appreciate
us,
it.
Dave.
Thanks for coming. Greg, welcome to the Three Gun Show, man.
Hey, Dave, how's it going, buddy?
It's going good, man. It's good to have you back.
Thanks, man.
Greg, we've been talking about what we're seeing tonight, and we've been watching all the runs and how everybody's approached it a little bit different. Looked like there were maybe 2 or 3 different runs out there, but with a short stage, short and fast like that, there's not much you can do. It's not a stage that you can run and gain a lot of ground. So we knew there wasn't going to be anything really somebody going to blow it out. But looking at some of the misses early on and some of the transitions, we thought that you know, there was a flat 20 and somebody was going to break 20, and you got really close to it. You had any makeup shots out there? You remember running through your run for us?
I think I had maybe 1 or 2 extra on pistol. The big thing with pistol, and you guys were seeing it from here, is you can't see your sights.
Right.
As soon as you turn around and index, the top of the pistol is just totally dark, and it just totally blends together. So pretty much everybody's looking at the target. So a lot of those pistol misses were because guys just couldn't hit it on, and you couldn't see a fiber either. Right. So that was the big part of that. After that, everybody's stage seemed to go okay. Some guys got carried away on the rifle, but that's just it's trying to go fast.
Yeah.
But now I knew coming into it, I was over here on the side talking with Keith, it was all going to come down to the pistol. It was going to come down to that first shot and then how you ran the plates from there.
Yeah, it looked like we were paying attention to the first shots out here. You guys in the top 4 looked like you beat the field by half a second to 3/4 second on that first shot split from the time the start buzzer to the first round that was broken. So, you know, you take that away, and then we look at the extra transitions. Now, one thing we did notice that on Dan's run is that he went from right to left on the rifle and dropped down to shoot those 4 across and shot the other target kneeling. Mm-hmm. You think that was an advantage for him, or is it you really got to practice something like that? Most guys want to shoot rifle standing up, so is that a tougher position to shoot from?
The transition from that left target to the center array may have been a little tougher, but at that point he wasn't static at any point. So when he left that rifle target, he was already down to where he needed to be. So that's something you'd have to work a little bit. It may have saved him a half second. Maybe. From what I could tell, just listening to the run, it sounded like Dan's run was probably all made up over his pistol. It sounded like he was clean. It sounded like a really good cadence going on.
Yeah, very fast cadence, and that's one thing we noticed. He went clean on both sides on the pistol and really fast. You know, he's had a 19.22, and you were 21.19, so right at a second difference. So we figured that he was a little faster out of the gate. I think it was 1.7 on the first shot.
Yeah.
So he got you by just a little bit there. It looked like I thought when you come out, you turn to the right array and basically got on target. What I thought was faster. But, you know, you had an extra makeup shot there, and that extra makeup's going to be probably 3-4 tenths.
It's a little bit longer here, and depending on which plate you have to make up to, a little bit longer here just because you're not calling your sights as well. You can't see.
Right, so 3 or 4 tenths there, then 3 or 4 tenths on that transition coming back on the rifle. That makes up a difference. That's where you get your 1 second, and 1 second in this is almost an eternity.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and this, you know, really we don't think about it a lot, but even the splits on the rifle, I heard some guys with some really aggressive splits early, and then I heard some that were kind of slow. And when you start to look at it, you got 6 targets and you got slow splits across there. That's going to make up some time.
Absolutely, it adds up. So I mean, we look at the top 4 coming in. Is that we had
Daniel Horner,
Daniel at 19.22, Greg at 21.19. 1 second behind you was Mark at 22.19, and then Ravin Perry at 22.77. So we've got not much of a separation, 3.5 seconds between the top 4 shooters.
Yeah, there's like 4 tenths of a second between 4th and 5th place, and you're looking at 7/100ths of a second between 5th and 6th place.
Yeah,
it's just shows you like how tight this race is.
So take a look, Greg. What we got is so the top 4 advance. The bottom 4 went home. We got 8 going into this eliminator, and you look at this 8 we got here. We got Keith, Joe, Rick, Jacob, Jason, Josh, Rob, and Hunter. There's some speed in there. So you got 8 guys fighting for 4 spots. What do you think you're going to see over here?
Well, it's going to be interesting because the gun starts loaded. Okay, so the gun's going to start loaded. The guys are going to pick it up. This isn't an array that you're going to be able to sweep across.
Okay.
The winner that goes for it all is probably going to sweep across there and hook up. But if you get too aggressive here, you only have 1 extra shot. And those plates, if you don't get shot on, they're not going to go.
So we got 9 rounds for 8 targets.
Yes.
Okay, so we got a full capacity start with 9 rounds. We got 8 targets, so they're 4x10s out here on the little round post. Looks like the longest shot might be about 18 yards.
Yeah.
But we got a wide transition. You talked about. You got about a 120-degree transition from left to right. You've got a 15 feet between the start button and the table. So I think that we're going to see somebody's going to get on the gas and go for it. It's you got 8 guys fighting for 4 spots and a chance to get in the final 8 for $50,000. What's the game plan? I mean, you go all out to try and beat it.
You just said somebody's going to go for it. Somebody's going to win it, and the guys that don't go for it, this is one of the stages. I'm more of a conservative. I call myself a conservative shooter. I'm more of a consistent. But on this, you got to hang it out because otherwise you're not gonna go on to tomorrow.
Right.
All right. If you don't get it, if you don't make the cut here, you won't home.
So going to these final 8, which position has the advantage? The guy going first that doesn't have any pressure, he's going to go out and lay down the run, or the guy going last and knows exactly what he has to do to be that last guy in?
I was going to try and get Brian here. I'm looking at the guy probably going first. If it were me, I'd want to go first and lay it down because honestly, if you know what the time is to beat, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can't go any faster than you can shoot.
Yeah.
So
shooting your game plan, as we talked about that earlier in the cast, is
absolutely.
Yeah, you got to shoot what you know you can do, and I'll agree with that because when I went to Eliminator last year, I came into that rifle section. I was the first one up. I shot a good clean run, and everybody thought it was really slow, and then we saw that nobody could beat it. So it's kind of one of those things. You come out being that first guy, you got no pressure. You come out, you shoot your game plan, and you come out on top. But you also have the other guy that say, I'm coming out first. I got to burn this thing down and set the time and set the par for everybody to chase me. And I don't think that ever works. Occasionally it'll happen, but not always. So it'd be interesting to see what we got. We got a lot of speed out here today.
So are we going to be watching guys shooting beyond their capability here?
Absolutely.
Somebody is going to shoot out of their shoes. They're going to put down the run of a lifetime, and that's that fairy tale run. It's going to get them into the final 8. You see it in every sport. It's always there. It's always going to happen. We just don't know which one it's going to be. I mean, we've got 8 good shooters here coming up to the line. It looks like.
Would you tighten your choke up here, or would you more open here?
I'd go open on these just because what you have. You got 18 yards. You're going to have a good spread. I want as much advantage as I can. I'm going to shoot that target sweeping into it. I'm not going to pause on it. Now, Greg's probably, he's going to be a more conservative guy. He's going to transition, get a good side alignment, and prep the trigger and break it. I'm going to be pulling the trigger about a foot from the target, yanking it. Yeah, so just like that's the difference in our style. So
we got Hunter Sykes coming up here again.
Yep.
And he's making ready, getting his sight picture, preparing his shotgun on the table.
The shooting time probably won't be a huge difference here between the guys. The first shot will, though. The first shot's going to be huge.
Yeah.
Who gets over there, gets a good mount on the gun, and gets that first shot off without any hesitation.
Yeah, so the kiss of death here is going to be more than one miss. If you got to go to a slide lock load or you've got to load anything, I don't think that's going to get you, not with this field of 8. There's no way that you can make up that type of disaster. So it's going to be clean. Again, slow, smooth as fast. The issue there is you can't be that slow. That's
exactly. Yeah. So Tommy, you keep telling me that slow, smooth, and smooth is fast, but we're going to be watching guys, coming out of their shoes here and shooting beyond their capabilities. So I don't think slow is going to win this one, man. I got to disagree with you on this one.
Yeah. So they're gonna go all out.
Well, of knowing you for the last 2 years, I feel like if you were in here, it would be Tommy Gun Thacker just pulling on the trigger.
Yeah, I earned that name from definitely getting on the trigger, and I'm not afraid to. But in this type of situation, I definitely want to see my sights just.
Here we go.
There's Hunter up.
Hunter's live. 2.4 first shot, 1 makeup, and he's getting back out of there. 7:35.
7:35. Holy cow!
That's a solid run.
That's solid.
Last stage.
So he had 1 makeup, and the looked like the second to third target. And he came back and made it up quickly. He didn't have to load.
What was the first shot? Somebody said 2-4.
2-4.
Yeah, that's a good first shot for covering that ground. picking that gun up, coming in there
Yeah,
hot.
so what we're talking about, Greg, looks like it's about 15 to 20 feet. You got your back to your shotgun. You got to activate that start timer. You got to clear 15 feet, get the shoulder mount on the shotgun, and break that first shot at about 15 yards. And he did that in 2.4 seconds.
Yeah,
that's something that I think for our guys that you can't see it, but just listening out there in radio land on YouTube, 2.4 seconds to cover that much ground. That's something that talks about the athleticism of this sport. It's 15, 20 feet from a dead start to
with your back
pick up
to
something
it as well.
Yeah, you got your back to the targets. You got to turn and not only cover that distance, but pick up the shotgun, make the mount, and make a shot on the first target and continue on because you have
not forgetting a safety.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and racking one into the chamber.
See, I don't know if there's one. Is there one in the chamber?
Is it fully loaded start?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
it's a fully loaded start.
Yeah, that was a comment to Tim Yackley earlier, who actually didn't have one in the chamber when he started. So came up with a dead trigger, had to rack one in.
Yeah, unfortunately for Tim, that cost him a lot. Got him outside of that top 12. So Tim made a good run this year, but didn't make it to the finals.
We got
we'll
Rob
see him back next year.
Coming up here.
Yeah, got Rob Tate coming up.
So Rob's one of those one that could pull out a Cinderella run. He can lay it down. He's got some speed. So it looks like he's got a aggressive start position. His body's already turned. Gets
there
in
he
there.
goes, picking up the shotgun. That's a pretty fast mount.
One makeup on the right hand side, and he missed the barrel going in.
Almost lost that barrel. Wow, 819 coming out of there.
So two things. He tried to dismount quickly, and shooting these extra long magazine tubes, you got to get it just right in that barrel. So he missed the barrel. It could have been really bad.
Yeah, he almost tossed that shotgun.
It went over
the barrel, but he was able to catch it and bring it back. So it was in one smooth motion, but it wasn't smooth enough. 819 on that run.
Yeah, so that's guys shooting above their above their comfort level. There.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was
watching Rob shoot a stage. He's very smooth throughout stages. He's a very consistent shooter. He was pushing. That was everything he had on that one.
So Rob's pushing a little bit last on that last stage because he's gone out in eliminators before, and I think he knows what's on the line. He got 4 spots here with some of the best shooters in the world. So he's not going to hold back. He's going to give it all he's got.
That's true. Well, we still got a bunch of people listening with us, and I want to say hello to a couple people in the chat. We've got Bullet McQueen Mac listening in on us, and Herc, the Canada Banana Manager, as well as Dr. Exotic, which I don't know about that one. Dr. Exotic. Jeremy, I thought that was your nickname.
Hey, you better believe it, buddy.
All right. We got Josh Wakamatsu coming up to the table here, and he's mentally preparing himself, just taking off his last shell carrier, wiping off the wetness on the hands from from handling everything here. And the rain has stopped though once again. So Josh doing the hover hand, getting ready to go, and he's picking up his shotgun. Pretty quick jump there. 2-2. He's got one miss. Had to come back to. Has a second miss.
And
left the plate standing up. Left the plate standing up, 8:04.
Pretty much that's gonna be the kiss of death. You can't leave a target in this format. It's 8 seconds, and then I think it's 5 for a miss.
So we're basically back to what we were talking about earlier, Tommy. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Guys are just trying to shoot too fast here.
Absolutely.
And making mistakes.
It's all on the line. It's a pressure that a lot of guys aren't used to. You come out here and independent. Again, it goes back to what's your thought process. What are you looking for when you come into this thing? If you're coming in, you're looking for the $50,000 paycheck, and you're fighting for that money, and that's what you're focused on. You're going to have an issue.
Yep.
Something's going to happen. Yep. You can't go out there and shoot aggressively like that. You got to come out here and shoot your game. And if your game is to come out and shoot fast and accurate and not miss, it's going to pay off. That's what it comes down to. The guy that shoots this clean and smooth is going to be the fastest. It's simple as that.
And you talked about the big thing too, Tommy, the pressure. A lot of guys don't realize, when you stand back and look at it, it doesn't look like much, but when you're in that box and all that's on the line, that's a lot of pressure. And if you're not prepared for that, it doesn't matter what you've done in practice. If you're not prepared between the ears,
So you're saying that the machine even gets a little tense. Is that what you're telling me?
You know, it's gotten better over the years, but yeah, absolutely. If you don't, I don't think you should be playing the game.
Well, maybe that's why I'm back here with this headset on.
Greg, how do you deal with that pressure?
Oh man, a lot of mental preparation, practice.
What kind of mental preparation?
It's constantly running through things, how they should be, what I should be seeing, how I should be doing it, what it should look like, how it should feel. I mean, a lot of the stuff. The more you run through that stuff, it's kind of practice in a way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not putting rounds down range, but constantly thinking about how it should be and what it should look like, from my perspective and from back here. You know.
So your visualization is a key part.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've got Jason Tilkey up. Looks like he had about a 2.7 first shot. Smooth.
Another miss.
One makeup.
Second miss. Dismount and had to go back for it. Still a 7.94.
7.94, but he got him. So that's better than our last run.
If the guys are going to have makeups here, I don't think you can get too far away from it.
Yeah.
If you do have to make up and you get more than one plate away, the transition is going to be so wide.
Right, because it's a long transition coming back. You get 2 plates away, you come back, it's going to be probably a 70 or 80 split coming back to that target. And that's a 7/8 of a second coming back to the target to make that shot, and then another 7 or 8 split going back. So that miss is going to cost you a second and a half just to come back to make it up.
Wow.
And on a course of fire, we're talking the 7.5 second run.
Yeah.
A second and a half.
Second and a half is huge.
Absolutely.
Well, Tommy, we've got another comment in the chat here, and Mike Bauer says, thanks for the live feed, guys. So you're welcome, Mike.
Awesome, Mike. Man, we appreciate it.
Thanks for listening.
We need some feedback on this, and let us know if you're enjoying what you're hearing now.
We got a bunch of people watching.
Good. Maybe we can give something away.
I have no idea how to tell.
I have no idea.
We could do that.
Come up with something.
You think about it. I got to ask Greg a question here. Greg, when we were at War Sport this summer, shot War Sport on your squad, there was one point where you were sitting down in the shade, got that cool Browning chair that you carry around with you everywhere. Tommy comes up to you, you're just sitting there by yourself. Tommy comes up to you, he's like, why aren't you socializing, man? You're not letting people talk to you. So, Greg, why do you not let people talk to you on the range?
Well, I don't think it goes that far, Dave. No, there's certain points of times before stage, just depending on where we're at, what we're doing. That mental preparation comes around. Hopefully, it's socialization is part of it. When you get out here, for especially the sponsor shooters to come out here, that's a big part of it. But you'll notice there's a certain point in time where everybody kind of cheats off themselves to get that little bit of prep time prior to going out on the stage. So
it looks like Big Diesel's getting up here, loading up his Benelli. Jacob, for a big guy,
moves fast.
He moves fast. You put some pads on that guy and put a helmet in there, and he could be a linebacker anywhere.
So Jacob is a marshal. Excuse me. He's a sheriff working with the Marshal Service in Omaha, Nebraska. And I want you guys to close your eyes and picture that guy knocking on your door and you going and answering it and being on the wrong side of the law. That's not where you want to be.
Jacob, you put Jacob at what, 6'2", 6'3", probably in the 280 range.
I would say taller than 6'3", but just maybe because of his mass, he just seems bigger. Yeah. But yeah, he's got massive paws. He's just larger than life, but just an absolute sweetheart. Just the nicest guy in the world.
All right, so Jacob's got the okay to go. Looks like he's wiping some sweat or rain residue off his hands, going to the hover position, and he's off to the races. 2-2.
Had a little makeup there, coming back.
757 with one makeup. A little bit of hesitation there after that first shot. It's like he was wanting to see that target go down. But the target that was in the middle, the longest target from the table, he got a little bit of dust on it, but it didn't move. So that's where he come back for it.
Could come back to what guys are picking for chokes too there.
Yeah, so that's Greg. Let's talk about that. For our viewers out there, is choke selection and something like this. Do you want a wide open pattern so you have a little bit more spray coming across, or you want it to be really tight and then you have to slow down and aim?
Well, you got to know your gun. Everybody's got to know what their gun's going to do with these ranges. Like you said, you got a 4-inch wide target out there. If you sweep into that target and only get a couple pellets on it and it doesn't go, that's going to cost you a transition. So if you start to look at that, maybe it costs you 70 or 80 on a transition. By slowing down and aiming a little bit more, you're probably not going to lose that across the array. So I would probably go with an IC here, knowing what my gun does, the Browning. probably IC would be good enough for that target. I don't know. Some of these guys are shooting some shorter barrels, like 22-inch barrels, so I know they don't really want to choke up, but it might pay off here.
What are you shooting at, like a 26-inch barrel?
Yeah, the Brownings are 26
Brownings
inch.
are 26
Yep.
inches?
They shoot pretty tight, so a lot of times we can go a little bit more open than what some of the other guys are shooting with the shorter barrels.
Okay.
And Greg, you mentioned that we shot the Three Gun Nation Nationals Shotgun Championship already, and we're holding close at number 1 and number 2. We saw that choke selection was important on some of those stages. That if you get a heavy target out there, that you just don't knock it down. You put a good shot on it, and just not enough to make it go.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's very often in 3-gun. I think we get too worked up about chokes, but there are certain stages where you got to pay attention to how the targets are set up and some of the distances and angles you're going to be shooting because, man, you don't pick the right choke, you can stand there all day and go to war.
Yep. You hit it 3 or 4 times, and it still doesn't go. Just it's a heavy target or too much distance.
Absolutely.
So we've got the Birdman coming up here. Rick Birdsall.
Birdsall.
What was it? Silky Bird?
Silky Bird earlier. That's right. So let's see if he's silky smooth and can put down a clean run, because we haven't seen a clean run yet tonight. He's getting the hover position. He's getting ready to turn. He's a little bit more off range than everybody else has been.
2-6.
Clean 6 clean, gets out of there.
Nice.
7:21.
That's a pretty fast run. That makes him our leader for the night so far.
So 7:21. So with that said, there's definitely a 6'9", a 6'8", maybe out here. What do you think, Greg?
I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rick, when we talk about how he engaged that, he didn't sweep across him. You could tell he aimed. He was very deliberate. It's going to come down to the guy that can see that faster. I think a clean run here is going to be it, and I think you're going to have to aim to get it. The guy that sees it fastest going across there is going to be the one.
All right, so right now we're looking at Josh Wakamatsu is out. Rob is out. Hunter Sykes is in. Jason Tilkey's on the bubble at 794. Jacobs at 757. And Rick's at 721. So Rick's definitely made it into the finals with a 721. Looks like Hunter's in at 735. So now we've got Joe Pitha coming up. And, Joe's pretty fast on shotgun.
Yeah,
He's a
good shotgun shooter.
I believe he's a world champion shotgun shooter, whether it was Skeet or Clays or something in the past.
Yeah, he's a clay shooter.
Clay shooter.
Some,
absolutely.
I can't remember which clays.
So he's definitely some type of clay. Now the clay is moving.
Some sort of clay that flies.
Yeah. So he's got the shotgun experience. So he's either going to come in and he's going to hammer this thing, or he's going to aim a little bit too hard. Now he's a left-handed shooter, which is backwards from everybody else. Do you think that's an advantage or disadvantage here, Greg?
I don't think it matters because the transition's so wide.
Okay.
I mean, guys coming in on the right, they may have a little better setup on that target. It just depends on how Joe gets into the box and actually gets his body set up, and that's huge on these wide transitions like that. You don't want to find yourself all twisted up, so you kind of want to, when you set up, you want to look at that last target you're gonna have to engage and set your body up towards that, so you can kind of unwind as you're going across.
Okay.
So while Joe's getting ready here, so for the listeners out there, Jeremy is director of marketing at SAC. SAC. Do you call it SAC? It's okay to call it SAC, right?
It's fine.
All right. So, which includes Armalite, and we've got a giveaway. You've got a prize you want to give away.
We just launched some new T-shirts and whatnot. So, for the listeners at home, if you can type up the 3 team shooters of Armalite, we'll send you a little care package.
And so, first person to do that?
Yep.
Okay.
There you go. All right, so we're going live here. We got our shooter almost in the hover position, means he's got his hand over the buzzer, getting ready for the start, and Joe's getting ready to hammer that thing and get to work. And there he goes. He's starting on the same target on the left-hand side. Very methodical shooting, Greg. I don't think that's going to be the time to beat.
That's 7:51.
7:51, running off the stage to see the time. He's just really anxious to see what he's got there. So 7:51, that might put him
I think that's
on the bubble?
Yeah.
On the bubble.
So that puts him
he's in.
third.
Yep, so he's definitely in. So Joe just put down a methodical run with no misses, and that was enough to get him into the final shoot-off.
Well, and before we go farther here, we've got another comment in the chat. Johnny Boy Inc. says, hey Dave, butter in the house. Got the video and audio going. Thanks, man. This is awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in. And if you missed it, we've got a giveaway here for the first person to name the 3 Armalite team shooters. And it's going to be a T-shirt, Armalite T-shirt.
Care package. We'll give a T-shirt from all the brands.
Cool. Courtesy of Jeremy Gresham from Strategic Armory Corporation.
Jeremy, can I log in real quick and can I do that?
Sure. Yeah. Start typing. We got Keith Garcia up here.
We've got we've got one guess in the chat. You can tell me if that's yes or no.
Oh,
yeah,
that was close.
Yes, the first one is
can't tell who. We can't tell them who they said it.
First
there, right?
guess is wrong. They got 2 out of 3. It's pretty close. You got the first one wrong. Second 2 were right.
Well, that kind of gives it away.
It's okay. It's who's fastest now.
That's who's fastest now. Get the keyboard running.
All right, this is so Keith's coming up. This is right in his wheelhouse. Keith has a very solid shooter with the bays, very solid with shotgun, and his gun manipulations and transitions are always solid. So I've been looking for probably the fastest first shot of the night here, and a solid run out of Keith.
So you kind of said something there, Greg. His gun manipulations and his fundamentals are key. He spends a lot of time on the range working on those things. He does a lot of YouTube videos, and some people say, well, why do you do that? But picking up the gun and making transitions, loading the gun, all those things that you do, the more you manipulate, the faster you are, and the smoother you become when it comes to match conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times the top shooters, it's not how fast they shoot, it's what they do in between. It's cutting down transitions. It's doing stuff like that.
Greg's taking. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Greg, but Keith is taking the spring out of his shotgun right now.
So something he didn't like up there. I don't know if he felt something when he was loading, but he's definitely taking his time, and there is no time limit here, so he can take as much time as he needs to get ready because we're not like a timeout and you've got 30 seconds to get ready. So if he doesn't feel right about it, he could take it out there and maybe he's cleaning the tube or just didn't feel something good.
What does that do for your confidence right before you're getting ready to shoot, though?
Definitely not what you want to do when you're getting ready to make the run that is either going to make you in or out.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, while he's doing that, we did get a correct answer from Johnny Boy in North Carolina. Okay. Greg Jordan, Nubbs, and John Murray are the 3 Armalite shooters.
That is correct. Can they send you a direct message there? Or?
Yeah. So
send me the address and size.
Johnny Boy, you've got my email address, dave@3gunshow.com. So get me a size and an address, and I'll forward that on to Jeremy.
Good job, dude.
So as we're watching from the back here, it looks like Keith had something that he didn't like with the shotgun. So that's kind of the key of coming up to quarterback coming up to the line and saying, hey, you know what, I got to read on this defense. I don't like it. Call a little audible. Something's not right. I'm going to back up. I'm going to reset.
Yeah, it's got to be hard when you're got all these lights and cameras and everyone watching, and you have to go through something like that because everyone is
eyes on you.
Eyes on you, man. Oh God.
This is it. I think he knows it. He probably feels the pressure right now. I mean, I definitely would be because I'm the last guy. Everybody's watching. They're waiting for this last time because he's going to knock somebody off or he's going to the finals.
That's right.
Here we go.
He goes. He picks up that shotgun.
Smooth transition, getting back. Nice. 6'8". That's the time we're looking for. Nice. So we knew somebody was going to break it. We figure a 6'8", 6'9" was going to be it. And then Keith goes into his happy dance, letting everybody know that he was the dominant shooter in the final 8 of the 8 that didn't make the top 4.
That's right.
So, if we give a rundown of what we got for the finals tomorrow, looks like we're going to have
Dan. We're going to have Greg Jordan, or Dan. I'll say Dan. They're both names. Dan Horner, Greg Jordan, Mark Hanisch, Ravin Perry, and then from there we're figuring this out. We got Keith Garcia, of course, Rick Birdsall, which are of course Cobalt Kinetics teammates, and Hunter Sykes.
And Joe Pitha.
Joe Pitha.
And if you look at the difference here for Joe Pitha and Jacob Betzworth goes home on 6
1/100ths of a second.
100ths of a second.
That is a heartbreaker right there.
Oh yeah. 6 100ths of a second is the difference of making the $50,000 shoot off or going home early.
Man, that's amazing. This game is so much fun.
So now nationals, you shoot nationals to set a bracket for next year to qualify for.
Yeah. So what we got this year is the 3 Gun Nation National matches going on this weekend, and the finals of 3 Gun Nation Nationals in Practical Division will set the table for those pros who are not automatically in for next year. So everybody that shot the Pro Tour this year that did not get knocked out in the first round automatically earn their tour card and get in for next year. Those of us who got knocked out in the first round, and I got knocked out by 1/10 of a second, I've got to shoot the entire match to come back in and re-qualify for the 2017 season. So I plan on having a good match this weekend, whether it's raining or not. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to come out and shoot a good match. And
now we were talking to Jacob earlier. Jacob shoots a lot of open, and you've shot open the entire season.
Yeah, so I started out this year with tactical division, practical, whatever you want to call it, depending on the division you're shooting. But I finished strong with open. I shot a few matches, and I really wanted to come here and shoot open and finish national strong. But I had to switch and shoot practical because I've got to qualify for next season.
So you can't qualify for the Pro Series to shoot off in open?
No, that is not right. So you can't shoot open division and go into the Pro Tour because...
Can you do it from factory?
Nope, can't do it from factory either.
So how's Rick Birdsall here?
Rick's already in, so he made it to the finals, so he automatically get that buy-in. So that's the difference, so that you have to make sure that if it's only the pros that got knocked out in the first round. And then they'll see how many determining factor for next year is how many pros come back. Anybody that drops off, then the field for national finals gets more pros onto the tour. So
Gotcha.
if somebody drops off, there's another spot for somebody to come in.
Gotcha. Well, that's why we have you here, Tommy.
Yeah,
you've read the rule book.
I'm on the outside looking in.
All right, and Chad Adams is back with us, and he's going to give us a rundown of what we just saw here.
All right, you got me, guys?
Gotcha, bud.
How was that?
That was
good, man.
Exciting.
It was nice.
So we were, first of all, we're way back here, Chad. You were right next to the action. What was Keith doing taking apart his shotgun right before the shoot?
You know, I don't know. I was interviewing other competitors. I actually didn't even see that. I did not know that. You saw something I didn't see. Hard to figure what in the heck he was doing right before he went taking apart his shotgun. I'll have to ask him. That's a good question. Tell you what I did see. A lot of people pressing it. A lot of people pressing it and trying to go faster than they should have.
Absolutely.
And, you know, look, I say it. I'm not the shooter. I'm the analyzer, right? But we were talking about it before, Tommy. How many of them got in the right position? How many more where they could open their hips and transition those targets to target? When I was interviewing folks up there for our live stream, 2 or 3 different guys say, wow, that was a big target-to-target transition.
Right.
My swing felt funny.
Yeah.
And especially as they got to target number 4, target number 5.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they come up and set up for a fast swing like it was a bunch of clays out there. I could just unwind, uncork on this thing, and I'm going to be good. But no, those are wide transitions that you had to pause and stop, or know what your timing is to swing into it. So I think there was a little bit of unpreparedness on some of the competitors' side of it, and then I think there's just nerves for a lot of them too.
It cost some folks. There's no doubt about it. So I'm sure you went over it already, but it's Keith Garcia, Hunter Sykes, Rick Birdsall, Joe Pitha. They claim those 4 slots headed on to tomorrow to take on Horner, Jordan, Hanish, and Perry.
So what are our matchups tomorrow? What's it look like?
I haven't done it yet. I got to go. I'm going to put that out online here just a little bit. I got to put it in the app. I'm getting pretty close to having it figured out. Obviously, Horner and Jordan are going to be the 1 and the 2 seeds. Hanish will be the 3 seed, and Perry the 4 seed. Our last guy in was what, Pitha?
Yeah, Joe knocked Jacob out by 6/100ths of a second.
That's incredibly tight, right? So if Pitha's our number 8 seed, he's going to be taking on Daniel Horner.
So Joe and Daniel in the first round.
So I just got to figure out 6 and 7 here. Hunter Sykes, and so Birdsall's going to be the 6 seed. And I'm doing this with a note paper, so this is not official. We're just trying to break some news for you here, Dave.
Unofficial. TBD.
Okay, I'm doing this real quick, and I've got Garcia, then Birdsall, then Sykes, then Pitha. So that's our 5, 6, 7, 8. So that would mean Horner versus Pitha, Jordan versus Sykes, and then we're going to have Hanish and Birdsall, and Perry and Garcia. All right.
Some good first round
matchups. That's unofficial.
Unofficial.
That's unofficial.
You heard it here. Unofficial matchup.
Some of those bracket makers will switch that 4-5 matchup with something else. I don't know which ours it is. I got to look it up.
Okay.
But I think that's going to be pretty solid. So we got Greg Jordan here. Hunter Sykes, you drew an athletic guy. What's that mean to you?
Absolutely. He's going to get out of the box quick. He's going to get to the guns quick. Hunter's been shooting great this year. I mean, he came out in his slot back in the summer and shot a great match. He ended up here. He dealt with pressure here twice, right, and he performed. So we'll see what happens.
Greg, how much of it is watching and knowing your competitor and preparing yourself for that matchup, and then how much of it is just going out there and shooting what you and knowing what you need to do?
I look at it from the other competitor's side as pretty much I don't care what they do because I can't change that.
Right.
So my game has got to be the best that I can shoot, and then it falls where it does. If a guy comes out here and hooks up and beats you on a shoot off, that's just the way it goes, man. You got to come out and shoot to the best of your ability. If you try and prepare for somebody and shoot to their game, you're just kind of falling down that road. So it doesn't usually work out well.
That's a good field, guys. 3 former champs in there. Perry is no joke with the pistol. Sykes and Birdsall are all pretty dangerous. And then Joe Pitha, he's got a lot of experience on an international stage. He's probably not going to be nervous.
Yeah.
Right? So there's nobody to sleep on there. There's nobody that got through that you would say, oh, come on,
shouldn't be
he's
there,
going to get housed in the first round. That is 8 really solid competitors. And beware the guy that draws Mark Hanich. I just keep saying it.
Well, I'm pumped for tomorrow. The shootout's going to be awesome. The matchups are great, and it's going to be fun all around. Plus, if this weather keeps out the way it is right now, where it's just nice and calm, there's no rain and everything, I'm going to be happy. That's for sure.
So Dave, we're going to go live with the finals tomorrow night.
Absolutely, we're going to be going live with the finals tomorrow night. Thank you, Tommy. Keep them coming back. So yeah, we'll be doing the exact same thing, and there'll be a new feed on the YouTubes, and I'll do a Facebook post and send you guys an email as well, and just keep your eyes peeled. And it's 3gunshow.com/YouTube, and of course you can watch the video and our audio with it. Right. So 3 Gun Nation's doing a live stream.
We're doing it on live stream and Facebook Live tomorrow.
Great.
Right. So we'll be broadcasting. We did that tonight. We'll be live on both versions. You'll see me in my ugly mug up there spouting off times and interviewing competitors when they get out of their runs, and then hopefully later on we can do what we did last year, which was really cool. Merge your audio with our video and put a cool video out later in the year, right?
That would be absolutely great. And the best part about that is I didn't have to do it. You guys have the magic and you know what you're doing. So
that was a real cool
deal. Give me the files.
Getting more pros in there and that expert analysis. I can only go so far. These guys are the ones that go out there and do it. And I have one perspective and they have another. So it's really cool to hear that. And as you're breaking down these guys and listening to everybody last year, Greg, when he went with the shotgun, which he doesn't want me to bring up, and the commentary on it, and everybody feeling for him, and that in particular, and talking about what it's like and how fast it is and what it's like to call a shot. That's really cool stuff. So we appreciate you working with us on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to help you guys out, and this is fun. You guys put on a great match. The semifinals, man, just some exciting shooting out there, and we're looking forward to it again tomorrow in the pro shoot off.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for Chad. Thanks for coming.
Well, Greg, it looks like we're going to wrap up here for the night.
Yeah, man.
Good shooting tonight. Glad to have you on here, and good luck tomorrow, and see if you bring that championship home.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me out here. It's great you guys are out here getting a good commentary. Hopefully we'll be talking at the end of this tomorrow. It'll be a good show for you. So.
Yeah, come talk to us after you're done hoisting that check.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Greg. Well, guys, that was great. So, again, Jeremy, Tommy, thank you guys for sitting with me through the whole thing. This is a ton of fun. We're going to be back here tomorrow. We're going to be doing it again, and just
what time are you going live tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to be so it starts at 7 tomorrow, which we started at 7 today. So if there's any sort of rain delay or anything, just hang in with it, and we'll keep you updated. But it's just 3gunshow.com, and that's where you can find everything, and we'll keep you updated. Thanks, Tommy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Yep.